Great new day to all my self-care family and friends. Welcome back to the Room to Breathe podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I am so glad to have each and every one of you here with us today. Now, before we dive into today's episode, just a quick reminder. If you are feeling the vibe, go ahead and tap the screen, like, comment, and share this episode. Your support helps us to reach more amazing people on their healing journey. And if you haven't already done so, be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss a moment of what's coming next. I also invite you to visit our website at theselfcareclub.org. We've got affirmative apparel, motivational merch, and a bunch of free resources to support you wherever you are on your healing journey. Just know that you are not alone. We're in this together, growing and healing one breath at a time. Let's choose to make space for peace, for growth, and for you. Now, if something speaks to your heart today, go ahead and drop a green heart in the comments. It's our way of saying I'm healing, I'm growing, and I'm showing up for me. Now listen, today's episode is going to be a little different. We're going to go a little deeper today. And I think that today's episode is more like a love letter to the version of you who is tired of still trying, right? This is our moment to say, you know what? Hey, I see you. Because sometimes the most powerful healing happens when we say it out loud. Today's episode is titled Healing Out Loud, Letters from My Healing Self. And it's exactly that. We are going to explore letters from listeners like you, other people who are just out there in the thick of it, just like the rest of us. The ones sitting with loneliness, confusion, just deep wounds, in need of just forgiveness, burnout, boundaries, and absolute becoming. These are the kind of conversations that usually stay trapped in our heads and written in our journals, and we never allow anyone to read them. But today, we're bringing them to the mic because somebody out there needs to hear that they're not alone and that they're not the only one. So let's take a deep breath. Let this space be your room for growth, obviously room to breathe, and just your opportunity to be seen, to hear your own heart reflected back at you. Whether you're the one who wrote in or you're the one who's simply listening, this is your moment to heal out loud. So let's get into it. I receive numerous letters throughout the month, and obviously with the permission of those who submitted, I thought it would be nice for us to kind of give back, for me to answer out loud, because, the person writing in, they're not the only one who's going through these situations. And so we've decided to monthly do a Healing Out Loud segment where we share the letters and my responses to them, so that way we can all heal and grow together. So let's just go ahead and get into the first letter. The subject of this one is it normal to feel alone while healing? Dear Life Coach, first off, thank you for your light. Your podcast and music have been a part of my daily routine, and honestly, it helps me to not give up on myself. I have been doing the inner work, as you suggested, by journaling, setting boundaries, and I've even started going to therapy. But lately, healing feels lonely. Like I look around and nobody else seems to get it. People are constantly saying that I've changed, but it's not always in a supportive way. Is it normal to feel like you're outgrowing people? And how do you deal with that without going back to your comfort zone just to feel connected again? With love and gratitude, Tasha from Cleveland. Well, Tasha, to answer your question, I feel like you are walking through one of the most sacred parts of the actual healing journey. There's this in-between space when we're healing. And it's a very lonely space between who you used to be and who you're becoming, right? Hey, Miss Sherry. And so, Tasha, I would tell you this with my whole heart, that what you're feeling is not only valid, but it's a sign that growth is actually happening. When we're healing, that is holy work. And it can feel heavy and isolating because you're choosing yourself in a world that benefits from you shrinking. You're breaking cycles that have been normalized for generations. And of course, it feels lonely. You're doing what others didn't have the courage to do. And so when the people around you are saying that you've changed, yeah, just take that as your confirmation. Yeah, you have changed. You're supposed to. You've outgrown your survival mode. Stop settling for surface level connections, and you're starting to really ask, better questions. You're setting boundaries, and you're beginning to require this emotional accountability. And it's not familiar with others who are not here on their healing journey. And of course, the loneliness that you feel, that's just temporary. You've not been abandoned. You know what I mean? Like you're being redirected. It's like when you're driving and you miss your turn and your navigation system says recalculating, right? It doesn't throw the whole trip away. It just gives you another way to get there. And so, during this loneliness, the universe is just clearing out old alignments and making space for people who are really going to be there for you to reflect the healed version of you, not the hurting version of you. So, if I can't promise you anything else, I can promise you that your tribe is on the way. Your energy is sending out a new frequency. And so the toxic people of your past, they can't hear it. They don't operate on that frequency. So the people who are meant to walk beside you, who honor your boundaries, the people who are showing up to uplift your growth and pour into your spirit, they're already being drawn to your light. But in the meantime, you have to be your own safe space. I would honestly tell you to wrap your arms around your own shoulders, take yourself out, be your own hype woman, become your biggest fan. And just know that you're not being too much. You're literally becoming who you've always meant to be. So do not rush back into the comfort zone out of fear of being alone. Just because you're lonely, it doesn't mean you're alone. And the truth is, we're never really alone when we start to align with our truth. So Tasha, again, I encourage you to stay the course, keep breathing, keep trusting, and just keep walking forward. No turning back now. Keep your eyes on the road because you got somewhere to be, girl. All right. Thank you guys. Christian Empowers, welcome in. Reading Fundamental, welcome back. So for those of you who are just now joining, we're doing things a little differently today. We are healing out loud. And by doing so, I am actually sharing letters that I've received and answering those letters live for the people who have sent them in. So we just finished the first letter. And we are moving on to letter number 2. Subject of this letter is, how do I heal from a mother who never protected me? It says, hey, coach, your episode on family ties that strangle had me crying in my car. For the first time, I felt seen. I've carried a lot of pain from my childhood, especially from my mother. She knew what was happening, but still chose silence over saving me. Now I'm a mother myself, trying not to repeat cycles, but I feel stuck. I want to forgive her, but I can't forget. How do I protect my peace when my pain is tied to someone I still want a relationship with? P.S. Thank you for always giving us space to breathe. Lonnie. Well, Lonnie or Laney, I don't know what the pronunciation is, so forgive me if I said it wrong. Hey, Blue. Lenny, that's a heavy question. I feel like that question just kind of cracks open something deep, not just for you, but for so many other people who might be listening, who are carrying these invisible bruises from, the women we call mom. I want to make sure that I hold space for your pain and honestly honor your courage right now, for the courage that it took for you to even name that, because naming our wounds is where the healing begins. You were hurt by, someone who was supposed to protect you, and that's a grief like no other. All right, like mourning what you never had while trying to create what it should be. um so being a daughter while carrying what they call a mother's wound, is really a layered experience. And when you become a mother yourself, it just brings all of that back up, because now you're parenting not only your child, but your inner child too. And so I guess I would just say this. You can grieve and love at the same time. You can want a relationship with your mom and still choose distance from her. Rich Risings Brand, welcome in. MK, I see you. Um yeah, you can want a relationship with her and still choose distance. I think that you can hold compassion in one of your hands and peace in the other one. You're not required to abandon your own healing to hold on to someone who never even really showed up for you. And so you can choose your mental and emotional well-being and still honor your mother's existence. But honor doesn't mean access. Just because you choose to honor someone and recognize them, it doesn't mean you are giving them access to your life. I think that it is okay for you to redefine love. I think that it is okay to say, I love you, but I need to love myself more right now. And that's not really cruelty, it's actually clarity. And clarity is required for healing. So it sounds to me like you're doing the hard work, the holy work of breaking these generational patterns. And I hope that you are, in the position to give your daughter what your mother didn't give you. And that's the point of, you going to therapy and you talking about these situations and, really taking the time to reflect on your inner child to see what she missed, what she needed. So that way you can also have those conversations with your daughter. But parenting doesn't come with a handbook. So we're still not going to always get it right. The same way we understand that our parents did the best that they could with what they had, we are out here being parents doing the best that we can with what we've got. But it sounds to me like you're already doing the work. You are breaking curses, and that's legacy. Like that's the purpose. So I encourage you to just keep nurturing yourself, keep pouring into yourself and filling your cup up, keep speaking your truth. And, ultimately you're also mothering yourself. And know that you're not failing. Even if you don't always get it right, you're not failing. You're still working hard to free, generations of trauma. So just keep growing through what you're going through. Yeah, and I'm proud of you. Welcome in, everybody. If you guys just joined, throw some green hearts in the chat. Let me know that you are here. We are currently going through letters that I have received, and I am choosing to answer them live on the air. You guys can also feel free, if anybody has any questions in the chat, we will try to work those in today. For anyone who's interested in submitting a letter, you can actually write your own letter to me by sending an email to info@selfcareclub.org. But yeah, I've got several more letters to go, so we're going to keep going. I hope that, this, I guess, kind of Q&A session is a blessing to someone. Because like I said, many of us have shared experiences and similar stories. Even though our circumstances are always a little bit different, we all go through things in life. And sometimes it's just nice to hear what someone else is going through, and figure out, well, maybe what worked for them and will it be helpful for you? So keep listening, you guys, because we've got more. We are on letter number 3. Letter number 3, the subject is Why do I keep choosing people who don't choose me back? Dear life coach, I've listened to your Stop Expecting You from Other People episode at least 10 times, and it hit me in my chest. Why is it that I keep attracting people who emotionally abandon me? I feel like I show up for love, loyalty, and patience, and I end up disappointed every single time. Is there something wrong with me? Or am I just too much for the wrong people? Please help me to understand this because I want to break this pattern before I break myself. With love and respect, Jalen. Jalen, my love. Listen, I want to start by telling you that you are not too much. You're simply too whole for the people who are still fractured. The fact that you love deeply, that you show up consistently, and you know that you are leading with your heart, that's not a sign of weakness. That's not your weakness. That is actually your superpower. But power with no boundaries turns into burnout. And it sounds like you're just over giving. I think that the reason you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people may not be because something's wrong with you, but because somewhere along the line, your inner child has learned that love looks like proving your worth. And so you keep showing up trying to prove that you are worthy of their love. And so I say this with love. Um, you're not being chosen because you're choosing people from a place that is unhealed instead of a place that is grounded in self-worth. And that's not your fault. But it's just something where we're kind of like unaware of it. When we start off on our journey, you know, there are a lot of things that we're just simply unaware of. And now that you're aware of it, it's your responsibility to choose to shift it. So the question really isn't why don't they love you back, but why do you stay once you notice that they don't love you back? You know what I mean? Like, how long do you stick around before you choose to leave? I remember seeing this video on social media, and a young lady asked the speaker, how many times do you, I think she said something like, how many times do you accept a person's apology? Or how many times do you stay after a person hurts you? Right? Like, how long do you stay after a person just keeps hurting you? And his response was something like, well, how many times do you take poison before it kills you? You know? And so it just reflects the question, you know, how long are you going to choose to sit in a space that you know isn't for you? And, you know, I guess I would just remind you that you weren't created to chase. You're not created to chase love. We're created to receive love. And so the right people don't need you to convince them to love them. The right people will actually recognize the light that you carry, and they'll want to protect it, not dim it. Love is something that should just be given freely. We shouldn't have to beg for it. We shouldn't have to perform for it. So I don't think that you have to break yourself to be enough for people who are obviously broken themselves. Thank you, McLean Gang. Welcome in. You can choose wholeness. I think that you can choose peace. And yeah, you can choose you. And the thing about healing is it's not about us finding the perfect partner. Right? Healing is more so about us becoming the version of you that will no longer settle for anything less than what aligns with your soul. Right? It's about becoming the perfected version of yourself. And you're not alone in this. I mean, I think that there are a lot of people listening right now who, you know, would admit to unlearning this too. It is this, I guess, a behavior that we've all learned over the years, and so we're all working together to unlearn it. But you I think that you're on the right track. You are starting to wake up, because you're starting to recognize that the love that you're receiving isn't the same as the love that you're giving. But I think that if you continue to pour into you and you focus more on pouring into you, loving on you, then you're going to start to attract more of the love that you want. So I hope that helps. Welcome in, you guys. Hey, Anna. It is good to see all of you guys here. I'm just going to keep going. We are going through letters that I have received, and I'm hoping to make this a monthly episode for us, you guys, for me to catch up, because here lately I've started getting more and more letters, and outside of answering them, I didn't know what to do with them. But it was suggested that we go ahead and create this Healing Out Loud segment, and I love the idea, so we're gonna try it, every month. So yeah, let's keep going, guys. The next letter number 4. Can I still heal without forgiving them? I like this question. It says, Dear Coach, I've heard people say you have to forgive to heal, but I'm not there yet. My ex was emotionally manipulative. My father disappeared, and I have certain family members that have gaslit me through all of it. I am working on healing. I am going to therapy, and I'm focusing on my growth. But the thought of forgiving them makes me feel weak or like I'm letting them off the hook. What's your take on this? Can I fully heal without giving them the grace that I feel they don't deserve? B from Atlanta. Okay, ATL, listen. I feel like this question holds so much space for healing, because this question actually challenges a lot of popular narratives around forgiveness. So listen, I want y'all to hear me clearly. This is my opinion on forgiveness, guys. But I do not believe that you have to forgive to heal. Not right now, not ever, if you're not ready. Okay. Forgiveness, I think, is something that is often misunderstood as a one-time act or some sort of magical key that instantly frees you from the pain. I think that forgiveness is actually a process, and it's sometimes slow, sometimes messy, but it is a very deeply personal process. So when people say forgive to heal, what they often mean is that forgiveness can help you release the hold that other people have on your spirit. But if you're not there yet, that's okay. Healing can and should happen on your own timeline. You don't heal just because someone else tells you to. It has to be on your time and your terms. Sometimes healing looks like us naming our hurt, standing firm in our boundaries, simply saying no more. Hey, butterfly. It's like saying no more again and again and again. And it looks like you are protecting your peace fiercely, and you're trying to allow yourself to feel like a full range of emotions without shame, right? So forgiveness isn't about letting somebody off the hook. It's more about choosing your peace over carrying the weight of the resentment, that their actions has caused you to hold on to. And so choosing your peace comes in many forms. And, even if that form is just simply you refusing to engage with the pain that they caused you without condoning it, right? So sometimes, you choosing to set the boundary, you're just basically saying like, yeah, I see it. You did it. I felt this, but it is what it is. And I'm moving on, and I'm just not allowing you access. Like I can want to see people eat and grow and still choose not to serve them from my table. So I think that forgiveness is a good thing because it is freeing, it is liberating, but I don't think that it is something that you should be forced to do. And that as you do it, I think that you should be able to do it on your own terms. It is a part of the healing process. It can help you in your healing process. But again, you have to choose to do it. And if somebody else is telling you to forgive, or they're trying to force you into it, then I think that that's just another manipulation, and they're going to no doubt end up on the list of the people that you don't want to forgive. But yeah, I think that, regardless, you're whole, even with your scars, you're worthy, even if you're still holding on to anger, that you are, you're in your own healing journey, and it looks different. Just like I always tell you guys, that self-care looks different for everybody, right? What works for me may or may not work for you. But your healing is valid in every single stage, whether forgiveness happens to be a part of it or not. So I don't want you to feel like you're not doing the work and you're not healing just because forgiveness is not in season for you right now. So I do hope that helps. I'm encouraging you to, keep leaning into your power, keep healing on your terms, and just simply trust that peace will find you in its own time. So I hope that helps. Hey, Kale, welcome in, girl. For those of you who just joined, we are doing something a little different. We are going through letters that I have received, and I am answering questions live. I'm kind of having fun with this, y'all. For years, I wanted a Dear Life Coach segment, and I was like, oh, how do I do that? And then I just went back and was cleaning out my inbox, and I was like, oh, we got letters for days. Like, we could do this, y'all. So we are just kind of having, an experience sharing some of these letters and my honest answers to them. And you guys, I'm just a person healing, right? I'm just another person who is healing and has decided to wake up and stop being a hurt person hurting people. I am now a hurt person who is healing and choosing to help other people heal. And so, yeah, I am a master certified self-care and boundaries life coach. I am not only doing the work for me, you guys, but I went out there and started doing the work so I can actually show up and hold space for other people as well. So I'm no more of an expert on life than any of you. We are all going through this together. I'm just sharing my experience out loud, because I believe that sometimes we have to heal out loud, you guys. Ms. Sherry said, I had to learn to forgive from my heart and not according to man time. Absolutely. You have to do things on your terms. And that's the problem. Society will make us believe that we have to heal according to their time. We have to forgive according to their time. And that just reminds me of like when little kids do something wrong and we're like, go say sorry. Go tell them sorry. Them kids don't really care about it. They'll say sorry, but they're not sorry. They're not apologetic. They don't really care. And so when people try to force us into healing, that's the same thing. People are saying, heal, get over it. That happened when you were a child. You're grown. Doesn't matter. I'm not over it yet. And you can't make me be, So when God puts it on my heart to forgive, then I'll forgive. But until then, it's on site. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, it's on site, right, Miss Sherry? What up, visitor? Welcome in. Ricky Spanish, I see you. Hola, ¿cómo estás? That's about all I know. Muy bien. All right, guys, let's get into letter number 5. Number 5 subject is, how do I let go of friendships that no longer align without guilt? This might be the question of the day, y'all, okay? This might be the question of the day, because I feel like I have recently become an expert of letting go of the ships. So let me read their question first. Let me read their letter. What's up, coach? Thank you for creating this space. I feel like I need to start by saying that your voice has become one of the few things that helps to calm my anxiety on a daily basis. I have been deep into my self-care journey for a few years. I'm changing how I think, how I love, and how I show up for myself. But sometimes my oldest friendships, some of my oldest friendships are starting to feel heavy. One friend even said, you think you're better than everybody now. I love them, but I don't love how I feel when I'm around them anymore. How do I begin to let go of them without guilt? Monique, girl, this is the question of the day. Like, ugh. What up, Papa Smurf? Arch that back. I see you. Yeah. This question is the reminder that we are healing. We are not yet healed. Let me sip my water before I talk to Monique about this, y'all. Because, baby, okay. When I say, Monique, when I say like I feel this one so deeply, I hear this on a regular. Okay. Growth is a very beautiful thing, but it is also a very challenging journey, especially when it exposes how some relationships no longer serve you. I'm going to start by saying that ships are designed to take you places. And so as you are on a ship, if that ship is going nowhere, then it is time for you to exit. So when you have friends that accuse you of thinking that you're better than everybody now, what they're actually saying is that they're really afraid of losing the version of you that they knew. You know, change can feel like rejection to those people who aren't ready to evolve alongside you. And so I think that the truth that society doesn't want us to hear is that your growth does not require you to stay stuck in uncomfortable relationships. Your evolution is a testament to your courage, not your arrogance. It doesn't make, you choosing to heal and grow and move forward in life is not a sign of arrogance. It doesn't mean that you think you're better than everybody. And so other people will then project this guilt onto you. And I think that guilt masks as grief, right? And so there's this grief of leaving behind what's familiar, even if it wasn't healthy. So it is okay for you to mourn the loss while still choosing what's best for your mental, for your emotional and spiritual health. Loving people sometimes means that you have to love them from a distance. And you have to love some people from a distance so that way you can keep growing without their weight, weighing you down. Because their weight, their burdens that they project on you, all of a sudden becomes resistance to your journey. So I definitely encourage you to set boundaries, because our boundaries that we set with people are acts of self-respect. Obviously, it's a form of our self-care. And I feel like it's like the fertilizer that helps us to bloom as we continue to grow through what we go through. I think about, when I think about growth, obviously the first thing we think about is a flower. And a flower doesn't grow by dragging the weeds with it, right? It grows by letting go of what no longer nourishes it. That flower will just kind of curve to the left or the right and not worry about it. So, I definitely encourage you to keep, stay the course. Like keep your feelings front and center. So that way you can continue to water your roots and tend to your garden. And you just let the sun shine on you unapologetically, right? The people who are meant to be in your life, they will step into your glow. They will see that the sun is shining on you and they will gravitate towards you, right? But those people who don't, then they'll just fall off and they'll die like a withering weed. And that's not your fault. Not everybody is meant to grow with you. And again, remind yourself, ships are designed to take us places. So at any point in time during the trip, if you realize that ship, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, a companionship, I don't care what it is, whatever ship you are on, at any point in time during that trip, you see that ship is not taking you to your desired destination. If I'm in a relationship with someone and it is not helping me to grow as a person, if this friendship that I'm in is not pushing me and encouraging me to be the better version of me, then I have to jump off that ship. I'm not going to continue this trip. So I think as long as you focus on the fact that ships are designed to take you places, and you realize that some of these ships aren't taking you anywhere, I think it'll be much easier for you to realize that, hey, I need to book a different trip. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps y'all. But like I've personally done that so many times, and I regularly hear that whole "you think you're better than us," or the one that most people serve me is she acting brand new. But I am brand new. Every day that I wake up, I'm a brand new version of me, right? So um I'm no longer feeling less than when somebody tells me that I'm acting brand new, because I am. I am better. I'm better than I was yesterday. Now, I never said I am better than you, but I am better than the version of me that was here yesterday. Because old me would have probably wanted to fight back, right? But the new me just realizes you're not even worth that fight back. It's irrelevant. My healing is not up for debate. And I'm not going to feel guilty for choosing to better myself. So yeah, I love that question. Y'all can ask me that question all the time. Just reword it, package it up a little differently, and send it back to me, y'all, because I love that question. Miss Sherry said that is the question of the day. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just a person who's very big on my boundaries. And I think that when it comes to friendship and things like that, I'm always reminded of the Dr. Seuss phrase that those that mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. That's a big quote for me in my healing journey, because anytime, I get ready to step out on something else for me, and I start to worry about what other people are going to think, I have to remind myself, you know what? The people who mind it, they don't even matter at this point. The people who are upset that I'm setting boundaries and that I'm elevating and that I want to be better, if they're bothered by me doing that, then those people don't matter to me. Because obviously my feelings don't matter to them. And then, of course, the people who honestly care about me and love me, then they're going to embrace it. They're going to encourage it, promote it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Great question. Great question, Monique. Thank you so much for writing in. I think, let me see, guys. I think I have two more. I got two more for us. It looks like the next one is about boundaries too. Y'all speaking my love language. The subject of this one says, how do I set boundaries with family without feeling guilty? You just do it. It's like you just do it. Let's read the letter though. Dear life coach, I love everything you do. It's helped me find my voice, but I admit I'm still struggling with setting boundaries, especially with my family. Whenever I say no or protect my time and energy, I am met with constant guilt trips, accusations, and silence. I want to protect my peace, but I feel torn between honoring myself and keeping the peace with family. How do I hold my boundaries firmly without feeling like the bad one? My love. So I feel this so deeply. Setting boundaries with family for some of us can be the hardest thing to do, because love and obligation get all tangled up into like this big complicated knot. I want you to first understand that boundaries are an act of love, not just for you, but for them too. So over the years, we've gotten this idea that boundaries are something bad, that they're like walls to shut people out. But boundaries are not that. They're actually the opposite. Like I said, they're really, truly an act of love. When you start saying no to the things that drain you, to the people that are, depleting your energy, you're actually creating space in your life for healthier and more authentic connections. The guilt that you feel, that's just the old programming whispering lies to you. That's one of the things that you are unlearning on your journey, right? And so that guilt is just telling you that your needs are less important, that your peace is negotiable, when realistically it's not. It shouldn't be. Family harmony is not built on sacrifice. Or let me back up. Family harmony shouldn't be built on sacrifice. It should be built on respect. And respect begins on how we show up for ourselves first. And, we know that we can't pour from an empty cup, right? So in order for us to build something worth holding on to, we have to first stand firm in our boundaries, even if people push back. Over the time, I feel like the people who love you will learn to meet you where you are. And like I said, in the question before, those who don't, their reaction is their reflection, but their reflection is not your responsibility. So you have to give yourself permission to say no without apology. And let me go back to your letter really quick. You mentioned that you want to protect your peace. But right now, all I feel like you're protecting is the little piece of what they've given you. Because if your family was pouring into you and they were giving to you, then your peace would be abundant. You know what I mean? But it sounds to me like they're just issuing out little pieces to you. And I choose my peace, PEACE, over being left in pieces from being hurt, abandoned, neglected, mistreated, judged, ridiculed, like all of that. I choose my peace over being left in pieces. I would rather have all of my peace, all the peace that I deserve, than to have a piece of joy here and a piece of happiness here, right? So, if I say that I want peace, I'm going to choose all my peace and abundance. I want the whole pie. I don't want a little piece of the pie. I want the whole thing. But in order to do that, you have to keep showing up for you. You have to keep prioritizing you, and you have to keep putting yourself first. You have to make your peace your priority. And like I said, that's going to mean, giving yourself permission to say no without apology. It's like we said before, as we're healing, it doesn't mean that we want to cut everybody off and we don't want anybody else to grow and heal. We want people to eat. We want other people to heal and grow. But that doesn't mean that we want to have to serve them from our table, especially when we are surrounded by takers. So I hope that you continue to, like I said, stand your ground, show up for yourself, pour into yourself, and know that the more that you fill your cup up, the better you become, then the better this foundation that you're building with family becomes. So just do it. Like I said, everything about our healing journey is going to come with some level of guilt. So it's not really about us doing stuff without feeling the guilt. It's us feeling the guilt and knowing what to do with it, not allowing the guilt to consume you. Because you're always going to feel some sort of guilt. I mean, there are people in our life that are simply exist just to make us feel guilty for growing, for evolving, for healing. We all got those cousins sitting in the background saying, "Ooh, it must be nice." Girl, shut up. It don't must be nice. I work hard every day for what I got. So for somebody else to sit there and tell you, "Oh, that must be nice." No, I'm putting in the work. Ain't nothing nice about this healing. Nothing. It is hard work. It is easier to sit in the toxic spaces and be drained. But I know that it is worth it. I am worth it. And so I hope that you know that you are worth it too, Kay. Now I'm not gonna hold it against you because you're from Detroit, and we don't care about Michigan, K. I'm not gonna pick no beef with you, but it is Ohio State Buckeyes. Okay, that's funny. Sorry, y'all. Ohio State and Michigan, we be having beef sometimes. But I love you. Welcome in. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Throw some green hearts in the chat if you're liking these letters. As long as I keep getting these letters, y'all, we'll keep pushing this content out. I'm having fun answering them. And I hope that the people who wrote in are appreciative of this. I know that there's somebody out there who, one of these letters maybe has hit home for them. But yes, all right, we got one more, y'all. This is the last one and we out of here. Lucky letter number 7. Letter 7 says, how do I stop burning out while trying to do it all? Dear Coach, I am a mom, a wife, and I work full time. I am constantly tired, overwhelmed, and I feel like I'm running on empty. I know that self-care is important, but I don't even know where to start. Every time I try to slow down, this guilt just hits harder. How do I break this cycle of burnout and find peace in this chaos? Grateful for you and all that you do. Nia from Houston. Nia. Listen, sis, your story is our story, right? Like when they say your history is her story, I can identify with this. And I know that there are so many other people who can identify with this. Your story is literally the story of so many of us that are literally trying to keep it together. And in the process, of us trying to keep it together, we forget to hold ourselves with gentleness. And so burnout is the body and soul's way of screaming out for attention. And first we have to understand that burnout is a signal. It's not a sign of failure. That burnout, that we feel, that anxiety, that tension, all of that is just a warning sign. I'll start by saying that you don't have to do it all. You started by saying that you're a mom, which means you have children that are there to support. You just have to empower them to do so. You have to encourage them to do so. You said that you are a wife, which means you have a partner. You have to let them know what you need. Hey, Crystal girl. You have to let your partner know what you need. You said that you work full time. But you didn't say that you were self-employed, which means you have coworkers or employees or a staff, right? So you have to understand that you're constantly tired because you are trying to do it all. You don't have to do it all. And you don't have to do it all perfectly to be worthy. Your worth isn't tied to your productivity or the size of your to-do list. It is tied to you just being, your essence, your breath, your light. And so the first piece of advice that I would give you, Nia, is to just start small. Don't worry about the whole staircase. Let's just take one step. When it comes to our self-care doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be time-consuming, right? It can be as simple as 5 minutes of deep breathing. It could be setting a soft boundary around your time or saying no to something that isn't really serving your well-being. Guilt, y'all, I feel like guilt has been the running theme of today, right? Guilt is a liar. It wants you to keep grinding until you are broken. But breaking isn't the goal, right? Breaking is not our goal. Thriving is. So you have to remember that rest is resistance. Rest is revolutionary. When you rest, you are actually reclaiming your power. When you slow down, you are actually making space for peace. So just like everything else we do in life, you have to give yourself permission to pause, to breathe, to just be. Because you are more than a mom. You are more than a wife, right? You are more than any title or any hat that you choose to put on. You are you. You are deserving. You are worthy. When you were born, you were not a mom. When you were born, you were not a wife. You were just a person. And that is still who you are. So you have permission to take off all of these hats. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So if you keep showing up being mom of the year and wife of the year and employee of the year, but what about you? What about the woman that you are? So again, you have to give yourself permission to just be. Period. Like most of the time, we were like, oh, I want to just be. And then we have some long list of things behind it. I just want to be a better mom. I just want to be a better wife. I just want to be a better this, a better that, a better that. Listen, this is not Papa John's. You don't have to build a better pizza, a better this, a better that. Girl, you get to just be. You are exactly enough as you are. Period. So give yourself permission to pause, to take a break, to breathe, to just be. Period. You can be mom later. You be that man or that woman's wife later. Okay? For now, you get to just be. And you get to just be in a way that honors you. So if you just being means you close everybody else out and you go take a shower, then you do that. And if that shower is the only, form of self-care that you're going to get that day, might I suggest that you get some shower affirmation cards? May I suggest that you build a playlist? May I suggest that you try some eucalyptus and spearmint shower steamers? Run a bath, light a candle. Everybody thinks that self-care is something that is just so big and so glorious. Self-care are the tiny things that bring you joy in life. But you're not going to be able to really appreciate them until you stop, until you pause and just say, you know what? I love y'all, but right now I need to love me. I need to fill my cup up. I cannot serve you when I have nothing, right? So I need for you to feel empowered, Nia, to fill your cup up. And the beautiful part about it is that guilt that you feel will literally just disappear, because the more you fill your cup up, when you start noticing that your cup is overflowing and that your children and your partner and your coworkers and everyone else in the world can now come to you to drink, it erases any guilt. So again, I think that it is very important for all of us, everybody, husbands, wives, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, whoever you are, whatever hats that you wear. I think that it is very important that we spend time filling our own cup up, pouring into ourselves. And, what goes inside your cup, like I tell people all the time, what goes inside this cup, that's my business. That ain't for y'all. That 40 ounces of goodness inside of this cup, this is for me. Now, when this cup begins to overflow, that is for you. So if you cannot respect me enough to allow me to enjoy this 40 ounce in order for you to get the overflow, then you're not for me. And, as a parent and as a partner in a relationship, we have to teach them how to love us. We have to teach them that. So as we're going through life and we're deciding that we need to step into our self-care era, we have to tell people, hey, I want to be here for you. I want to be the best mom I can be. I want to be the best wife, best husband, best father that I can be. But right now I ain't got nothing to give. So I need to fill my cup up. So in order for me to fill my cup up, busy mom, you say, okay, kids, mommy and daddy are out here doing XYZ to make this lifestyle that y'all love. But right now I need for y'all to pull y'all's weight. So y'all see y'all's chores. I need y'all to do y'all's chores without really arguing back with me. I know you don't like to do it anyway. Because you know what? Mama don't like to pay the bills, but damn it, I do it anyway. I don't like to buy $50 video games, but for you, I do it anyway. So there are things in life that we don't necessarily enjoy, but they're necessities and we just do it anyway. Right? Feel the feelings, but do it anyway. And you have to teach them to say, hey, just like you want to go play your game, or just like you want to go out there and hang out with your friends, mama got games that she want to play, and I got friends that I want to hang with too. But I can't if we don't all pull our weight. So you have to teach your family how to love you and how to empower you by loving yourself and empowering yourself first. All that being said, you have to fill your cup up. So that way you can enjoy what's inside the cup, and that everybody around you can enjoy what's overflowing from your cup. So Nia, I see you, girl. I feel you, and I can relate with you in more ways than one. But most importantly today, I honor you, and I encourage you to keep taking those small steps. Every step matters, no matter how big, no matter how small. Those are all sacred steps towards peace. And it's a peace that I think that you deserve, that we all deserve. But just stay the course. And like I said, just start carving it out. And for some of us, it's a little easier to schedule it. You know, some of us are not as obedient as we should be. So you may have to schedule your self-care. It's no different than you have a lunch break, or you have this break, or the kids go to bed at 8 p.m. or, you know, whatever it is. Add it to your schedule and make it a non-negotiable. For moms, sometimes it means you got to choose to wake up 20 minutes earlier before you go down and wake the kids up and you cook breakfast and you do all of these things. Wake up in the morning and just spend that time doing something for you. Go have your coffee without everyone else. Right? Maybe it means dropping everybody else off and then stopping at Starbucks for your coffee. Right? You just have to do something to carve out something for you, something that makes you happy. And it doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be something that looks like what somebody else is doing. Self-care looks different for all of us. And you'll know that you're doing the right thing when it feels good to you. Self-care is all about doing things that feed our soul, that feel good to us. So just keep experimenting and just keep trying, you know, one small act at a time. And, you know, 5 minutes will turn into 10, 10 will turn to 20, 20 will turn to 40. And before you know it, you'll be scheduling whole weekends for you. You'll be out there on a I am not a mom and wife this weekend retreat. So I hope that helps you. I hope that all of these letters today have, you know, spoke to someone out there. Because again, the whole point of this is for us to heal out loud and for us to continue to grow together in a community, you guys. So as we wrap up this episode of what we're now calling Dear Life Coach Healing Out Loud, I want to, I guess, end with being real with you guys for a minute. We talk about healing all the time, and I am constantly reminding you that healing is not a straight line, right? It ain't clean. It ain't pretty. It is absolutely messy as hell. There's no way for me to sugarcoat it. It is messy, okay? Sometimes it feels like you're walking through the storm alone. Other times it feels like you're breaking apart before you even have the opportunity to put yourself back together. And that's okay. It's supposed to be hard. All right. They're not going to tell you that. Healing is supposed to be hard. Things that are worth having aren't always easy to come by. And so I think that every single letter that we addressed today, you know, feeling lonely about your healing, carrying wounds from people who should have protected us, cycling through people who don't choose us, struggling with forgiveness, battling guilt, standing your ground when it's uncomfortable, like all of these things are just real life. And that's the kind of stuff that people don't always want to talk about, but it is the realest part of each and every one of our journey. So if you're a person who's trying to set boundaries with your family, but you're constantly feeling like the bad guy, if you are burning out trying to hold it all together, or if you're just absolutely tired of trying to be enough for people who don't see your value, I just want you to know that I see you. I feel you. And I am so proud of you showing up anyway. I am so proud of you for choosing yourself, for protecting your peace, for saying no, even when it feels uncomfortable. These aren't just nice ideas that we have, you guys. This is how we survive. And more importantly, this is how we thrive. The daily fight to keep your soul whole when the world wants to tear you apart, it's messy. It is uncomfortable, but it is so worth it. So if you're sitting here like feeling like, you don't belong in your own healing journey, like you feel like you're losing people left and right, or fighting this guilt, wrestling with the anger that comes with healing, I just want to tell you to keep going. You're not broken. You are breaking free. That's freedom. You are breaking generational curses. You are unlearning toxic things that were never meant for you. We are all healing from some trauma, some form of trauma. And it's going to feel strange at first, but it is our healing to claim. It is ours for the taking. So I want you guys to know that you are not alone in this, even if it feels like it. You are a part of this self-care club, soul tribe, right? And we get it. We get it. And we know that it's raw, it's unfiltered, right? But it is so worthy and so fulfilling. So I want you guys to keep breathing through it. Keep protecting your hearts. Keep making space for yourself, because at the end of the day, you are what matters the most. I love each and every one of you to life. And I pray that each and every one of you have an amazing day on purpose, filled with nothing but purpose. And just remember, guys, if today's episode, hit home for you, I want to hear from you guys. Like, I love receiving letters from you guys. So I encourage any of you to write me a letter, a real raw, just speak your truth in the letter. But most importantly, just speak from your heart. Share your questions, your breakthroughs, your struggles. Again, this community that we are building together is a safe space, and each and every one of our stories matter. For those of you who are interested in submitting your letter, you can send your letter to info@selfcareclub.org. Again, info@selfcareclub.org. And I mean, you never know, your words might be, the healing balm for someone else's, story or someone else's journey within this community. Your story may be what they need to hear. And of course, you guys, if you were feeling the vibe of today's episode, be sure to share it out. Drop green hearts in the chat. Let us know that you're here and that you're feeling the vibe of everything. Head over to our website at selfcareclub.org. Tap into some more free resources. Join our self-care club community on Discord. Let's just keep cultivating this healing journey. And we don't have to be alone in this. We get to do this together, you guys. But until next time, you guys, I encourage you, stay in your ground, y'all. Take up space, and never forget, you will always be supported here at the Self-Care Club. So don't be afraid to take up space and make a little room for you to breathe. Thank you, guys.